So are we supposed to start the podcast?
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Well, this is normally where we get everybody fired up and, we do eagle stuff. And are you feeling like an eagle today?
No, I'm not. I'm feeling like a worm eaten by an eagle.
That's so sad.
I know. It is sad.
Can you cacaw?
CACAW.
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 Yeah.
It's like a wounded bird.
That's what I feel like. A wounded bird.
Well, you feel a lot better than me because I feel like a heaping pile of hammered dog shit is what I feel like.
It's like,
I would take wounded bird because I could go to a bird sanctuary and people would nurse me back to health in a cute little nest and like a little bottle dropper. And I'd be like, caw, caw, caw. This is like, I feel like I need a padded cell and a straitjacket.
I actually feel like someone ran over me with a semi-tractor or like a semi-truck.
Uh-huh. What the fuck, America?
What the fuck? What in the literal fuck is happening?
Seriously, though, I want to say, because we have built a community here of listeners, of open-minded, accepting people, lots of members of the LGBTQIA plus community. And I just want to tell you from the bottom of my heart how sorry I am that so many of you probably have people in your lives that say they love you and they went and voted for that. And I know that hurts. I know that really, really hurts. And I had always been a white woman that was pretty much, I experienced sexism, but a lot of really brave women fought before me so that I could be a businesswoman and be a working mom. And seeing the post-Roe election results, that really hits. It really hits that, wow, a lot of men don't want women to have these rights, but a lot of women don't want other women to have these rights. And that's just, it's really hard to reconcile.
It's really hard to reconcile. And I echo what you're saying. I'm so sad for women. I'm so sad for the Black and brown community. I'm so sad for the LGBTQIA plus community. But my allyship is just as strong as it was yesterday.
Yes, mine will be even stronger.
Even stronger.
And we just did an episode of iHip News yesterday. And in that podcast, I told our listeners, encourage on a micro level through this next Trump regime that we're about to live through, because it's going to be hell. We all know it. On a micro level, encourage people to champion for marginalized people.
That's right.
Humanize it. Don't accept it when people just, say, oh, I'm just not into it. I just wish gay people would be quiet. It's like they're not wanting more than you. They're wanting the same. And, to minority groups and to members of immigrant populations, I'm horrified for what this has unleashed and how emboldened white supremacy is right now. And that terrifies me. And this is going to be hard. This is going to be a hard time to get through. If we make it through the 4 years and are able to vote again, that would be the goal. That's the only thing that I can see as a positive sign through this whole thing, is if there are any guardrails that get us to another election, then that could be what could help me persevere through this. But the immediate promise of Donald Trump's to start rounding people up is horrifying. So I don't know if Biden can do a bunch of executive orders and grant everybody amnesty. And then I don't know if Trump can undo that. A lot of that is completely over my head. But welcome to I've Had It. I'm Jennifer.
I'm Angie.
Kathy and Seth are still here. Meemaw is still, she is still America's greatest legal mind, despite being a wounded bird. And Kathy, you're still our favorite lesbian.
Yep, still gay.
Still gay.
Still going to be gay.
They didn't vote you out gay?
They're trying.
They didn't vote the gay away?
Yeah.
They're trying. I've got a couple reviews for you guys.
Okay.
5 stars. This one's titled A+ Marriage Advice Podcast. And Deanna writes, listening to Jessica over the years has taught me that I can both love my husband and be highly irritated by everything he does, says, and in general, his daily presence in my home. She just gets me. 5 stars.
Listener, listen. These are the things that we can help you with.
Right.
This is called a compound feeling. And if you don't have a black and white, rigid worldview, you're able to have compound feelings. And when it comes to my husband, Josh, I love the shit out of that man. I mean, I just fucking love him so much. And sometimes he gets home from work and I think, God, I love him. He looks great. I hope he had a great day. And then he starts following me around the house and into the closet and narrating things that I do and have belaboring conversations. And I think, okay,
I'm done.
all right, it's time to move along here.
Well, on that note, yesterday, my son was late. He was coming up here. He's supposed to be here at 3:30. He rolls in at 4:30. And I'm waiting for him. And I hung up the phone with him and I was just like, I fucking hate him. And Kylie I just hear Kylie go, and I told him, I was like, I love you so much, but sometimes I hate you too. Because that is the most relatable feeling in the world as a parent, as a spouse. I think I would just extend it to people you have to live in close contact with. Sometimes you love me and hate me both at the same time. I mean, I just think that's living, especially in the same house. But I just think that people that say, I just love everything about my spouse all the time. I just love everything about my kids all the time. I just think that's a lie.
It's a lie. There's only one person on the planet that never got on my nerves that I loved 100% of the time. And that was Javi. Our sweet Javi. And for those of you that missed that episode, a guy that we work with here that has worked for me since he was 18 years old, Javier Morales, whom we called Javi, was tragically shot 3 or 4 weeks ago. So we're still reeling from that. And then, this election hickey. I mean, God, I don't know if Mima, if we're going to be able to take her to the assisted living center, because this has been
It's been a rough
few weeks.
Rough 30 days.
Okay, one more 5-star review. It's titled CACAW. And they write, probably deserves less than 5 stars. Considering that Mima keeps perpetuating the lie that bald eagles sound like that. Sorry, it's actually a red-tailed hawk call.
You know what? Since they got the eagle, that's what we will be.
Right.
We will be the red-tailed. Can we name it a blue-tailed hawk? Now I have an aversion to red.
Like a blue jay, maybe? I don't know what sound a blue jay.
I just think we
agree.
make up our own bird. It's a fictional bird.
We're going to have to make up our own bird.
A blue-tailed hawk.
A blue-tailed hawk. Okay, we're making up our own bird, a blue-tailed hawk. Right now it sounds like caw. But we're going to get the wind back in our sails.
It'll get stronger.
It'll get stronger. One day I'm going to be sitting here and the cacaw's just going to blow you out of the car.
Okay, do you guys want some voice memos?
Let's do it.
Okay, up first, we've got a voice memo from Jack.
I noticed this during the Olympics, and now I can't not notice it. Anytime there's some feat in sports, these announcers get so specific with the person to make them the first to do it. They'll be like, oh, this is the first person since 2022 who's born left-handed, who mom's a cunt, to do this thing. And it's like, okay, otherwise known as not the first person, and that's okay. You can be the 4th or 5th person to do something, and it still be a really big feat. I've had it. We've had the first person to do it, and that's it. We don't get to make this little group for this one person to be first. I've had it. Move on.
I couldn't agree more. And you know what I blame this on? Helicopter parents. They are the ones that their little Johnny has to be the best and the first. So it's like, my little Johnny wasn't the first person to ever dunk the ball, but my little Johnny was the first person that ever dunked it while wearing green tennis shoes and wearing a yellow vest and being 6.
What was that guy's name?
That was Jack.
Jack, I have a first for you. We're the first podcasters to ever adopt the blue-tailed hawk. Is what we are.
So that's first.
We're still trying to find our voice because we're misbirding. You know, some people say they're misgendered.
Yeah.
We've been misbirded.
Right.
And now we're rebirding, and we are the blue-tailed hawk. Let's see if you can do it. What does a blue-tailed hawk say, Pumps?
CACAW!
It's better. It's better. See, we're rebirding.
We're rebirding.
We're rebirding. Listener, this may come as a total shock to you, but Pumps and I have not always been this pulled together and rock solid. In fact, we used to be rather screwed up, wouldn't you say, Pumps?
I would say damn near psychotic.
Totally. And we have written a cell phone expose. One could even say it's a manifesto. And the book title is
Life is a Lazy Susan of Shit Sandwiches.
In all sincerity, we share a lot of our struggles that led us to this grand stage where we can talk about petty grievances. You can click the link below in the show notes to pre-order your copy now. Pumps, I have to tell you about these new cleaning products I've been using. They're called Branch Basics. I got the starter kit. It is a powerful plant and mineral-based solution designed to clean every room in your home from top to bottom without harmful chemicals.
What I really like about this product is it's concentrated, so it makes it easier to store. And I feel like I don't have to worry about my dogs on the tile because there's no harsh chemicals used.
Listener, switching to non-toxic cleaning isn't just a smart choice for the holidays. It's an investment in your family's long-term health. With Branch Basics, it's easy to take the first step towards a cleaner, safer home for you and your loved ones. Get yourself and your loved ones the best gift of all, the gift of clean with Branch Basics. For a limited time only, our listeners get 15% off and free shipping on their premium starter pack when you use code HADIT at branchbasics.com/hadit. That's 15% off your order at branchbasics.com/hadit with promo code HADIT. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. Get Branch Basics this holiday season because cleanliness matters. You know, Pumps, the most wonderful time of the year is upon us, but I find it to be sometimes the most stressful time of year. I have all of this shopping I have to do, and I also have to keep my house stocked. And a big part of keeping my house stocked are keeping my pet supplies stocked. And that's why I love Chewy so much. I'm even able to buy the dogs some little Christmas stocking stuffers.
That's what I was just going to say. I got Ollie some stocking stuffers to go with the food that he eats, and he is going to be so excited.
Chewy has everything I need to keep my pet healthy and happy. You can shop on your schedule. Everything gets shipped right to your door in 1 to 2 days, and it's for all pets. Dogs, cats, birds, fish, reptiles, and more. Chewy is helping to take the stress out of the holidays. Take advantage of amazing holiday savings and shop my personal favorites at chewy.com/hadit. Again, that's chewy.com/hadit. One more time, chewy.com/hadit.
Okay, up next, we've got a voice memo from Fran.
Hello to Princess Diangela and her lesser-known podcast co-host. What's her face? Josh Welch's wife. Anyway, what I fucking had it with is these women who have made their husbands or boyfriends' jobs and careers their fucking personality traits. I see this all the time from my little small Kentucky hometown, talking about on their trucks, on their T-shirts, on their Stanley Cups. It'll be like lineman wife or lineman girlfriend or coal miner's wife or married to the thin blue line. Get your own fucking personality traits. These men are not out here on their trucks talking about nurse husband or husband to a stay-at-home mom. They're probably not trying to admit that they even have a wife. I fucking had it.
I have felt this for the longest time when women make their entire identity an extension of their husband's profession.
Totally agree.
It is so self-defeating for women. I mean, men never do this.
Never.
Ever do this about their wives. But women, their whole identity becomes whatever their husband's career is. Particularly, I notice this with doctors' wives.
I completely agree with that.
I mean, it's like the God complex that a lot of physicians have. The women just completely take that on too. I remember once I was in a conversation with a woman, this is many years ago. Her husband was a cardiologist. And he was talking about something, and I can't remember exactly how the conversation got. It was a weave. But anyway.
Too soon.
Too soon. Anyway, I said, so what did he say? And she said, what he was saying is that he holds a human life in the palm of his hands, and it could go either way. That he literally is so skilled that he can determine if somebody lives or dies. She was talking about it.
God, I hate her.
As though like this man were on the battlefield, and basically he's operating on somebody who'd, had a heart attack due to poor dieting their whole lives. And it was just, and no disrespect to people that have had heart attacks. My dad has had one. He has stents in his heart. No disrespect there. But I particularly see that with doctors' wives.
Yeah, no, I see it with that too. And I just think if women don't have their own career or their own outlet for something that feeds them and their person, I think that it just becomes more and more the identity of the husband. Like if they don't feed their own identity, they become more their husband's identity.
And they also do it with their kids.
I would almost say it's worse with kids. Wouldn't you?
I would say it's worse with kids.
I mean, people are so eaten up with the dumb shits about their kids.
And I think it's kind of unhealthy to put that much pressure on the kid that their accolades are your identity, because kids need to start having separation from their parents. I mean, as an adult, I have found the most fucked up adults that I know have completely enmeshed relationships with their parents where there are no boundaries. And it's very difficult for them to get away from it and make chart a course for their own life with their own identity. And that like proud this, proud that, or my son's this, my son's that. Of course you should be proud of your kid. I'm so proud of my kids. But as my kids are now 18 and 21, I'm very cognizant that they are charting their own course. That there are certain things I want them to take from our family of origin. And that's like to have a moral compass to fight for marginalized people. But outside of that, like, I think they both will probably end up going to law school, but I want that to all be their choice.
Right.
And something they've accomplished on their own without something me attaching or accrediting myself to.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's funny because as you know, single mom, all my kids are gone. And in so many instances, I've heard them tell their friends, like, how's your mom doing? Is she sad? They're like, no, she likes it better with us gone. So I'm glad they don't have to worry.
Yeah.
Because I have friends that have told me that are single moms that aren't, live in their home alone, that they've told me when my kids are worried when they leave that I'm going to be so lonely and sad. And so I feel like that's one really good thing.
It is good.
Is that my kids never have once. In fact, I heard Emily tell someone, or she told me the other day, how do you like it? And I go, I think I like it better with you all gone. And she was like, that doesn't surprise me at all.
Okay, up next, we've got Samantha.
Hi, Jen, Pumps, Kylie, love you all. This is Samantha from Kentucky, and I forgot a major I've had it. My I've had it is I am so tired of people giving God the credit for my pregnancy. God's miracle, what a blessing. Oh, isn't God so great? What a miracle. No, what's a miracle and what's great is that I found a babysitter to go have time to have sex and get pregnant again unexpectedly. But my first pregnancy was just, oh, God's so amazing. God's so amazing. Yeah, sure, maybe, but I'm sorry. Does God have stretch marks? Does God's nipples hurt? Does God come home wearing diapers for 6 weeks? I don't think so. I just don't think women get enough credit for actually creating human bodies, and I'm just tired of God getting all the credit. Can somebody agree with me? Thanks. Love you.
I agree with this. And I could just go down the exact same rabbit hole with athletes that do the chest pump and the point up to God after they make a basket or a home run or a touchdown. I'm like, put a sock in it. I mean, acting like your athleticism was somehow, your feet moved faster because of divine intervention is insulting to everybody's intelligence. And how do you think it makes the other religious people on the opposing team think that maybe like God doesn't like them?
Right. There's a lot of narcissism in that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, I about died when she said, I found time to have a babysitter to have sex. I babysitter for my kid so that I could go have sex. That's the miracle. Isn't that the truth? I remember those days. When your kids are little, you're just in jail kind of.
Right.
There's just very little time for other things when you have little kids like that.
Yep.
I kind of had forgotten about the 6 weeks in a diaper after a kid. It's been so long. Good luck.
Okay, up next we've got Rob.
Hey bitches, Rob Craig, Charlotte, North Carolina here. Yep, North Carolina, you heard it right. Enough said. Fucking had it up to my eyeballs and whatever's above that and needs some justification here. I fucking had it with going on a small group wine tour and finding out that out of the 6 people, 2 of them are toddlers and they need all of the back seats of the Mercedes very special van that we booked. So my husband and I, who are 2 fully grown 40-year-old men, are put in the front seat with the driver for 9 hours in the Douro Valley of Portugal. I fucking had it. And to put the icing on the cake, about 15 minutes into this trip, where we're stuck in the front, the kids are screaming and then one throws up. The parents do not have a change of clothes. They do not have wipes. But what do the gays have? The gays have wipes. The gays have napkins. The gays are prepared.
I have to say, nothing can ruin a good time as much as a toddler can.
I absolutely agree. And here's the deal. I think there should be a law that toddlers cannot go on adult trips. Like, why would somebody take their kid on a wine tasting tour?
I think in civilized societies it is an unspoken law, but schlepping a toddler on some wine thing is just, that is a recipe for disaster. I understand the parents wanting to get intoxicated since they have a couple of toddlers.
Right.
But taking them on a wine tasting tour is just, it's beyond me. I understand that toddlers, there are certain places they have to go.
Right.
Like they have to go to, sometimes the mom needs to take them to the grocery store and they have to get on airplanes at times. And I have empathy for the parents. When you're just voluntarily taking these toddlers to places that do not need to be, it's maddening. I'll never forget. I will never forget Roland Garros, the French Open tennis final. I'm sitting there and this woman who was wearing stilettos with a toddler. So that's rule number 1. Who the fuck is schlepping around a toddler in a pair of stilettos?
Yeah,
that was the biggest red flag. The toddler keeps crying and pitching a fit. And so she's having to go up and down the exit, taking the toddler out, bringing the toddler in. Finally, like it's Carlos Alcaraz, the Spanish phenom. He's like about to serve and this toddler just starts wailing as she's, yes. And he has to stop and looks at her and she's like, I'm sorry. And I'm just like, this toddler doesn't know what tennis is.
Right.
If you can afford French Open finals tickets, you can afford a babysitter. Why the fuck is this baby here? Number 1. And fundamentally, I still need to know why the fuck you're wearing stilettos to a sporting event. I don't understand that. I don't understand at NBA games when you go and people are sitting courtside, the stilettos, you have to schlep down all these bleachers. Right. I do not understand stilettos at sporting events.
I don't understand stilettos most of the time.
I do.
No,
I like
you're great
a sexy shoe and I love stilettos.
I love a sassy
and
shoe.
I understand fashion and the artistry behind it. I love all of that. There's a time and a place for them. I
Completely
do not
agree.
understand stilettos at sporting events, at football games, at soccer games. Why the fuck, when you know you have to schlep around from the parking lot to get in and climb the bleacher stadiums, are you wearing Stilettos.
Oh, I've walked 5 miles to an OU game with behind somebody in stilettos, and I can't wrap my head around it. Here's the deal. Here's another just huge offender on the get a fucking babysitter train. When you are at a wedding and a kid screams the entire time and the parents don't take him out, I want to just stand up and say, why the fuck did you bring this kid? Get a babysitter. What is happening? Like, you're ruining everybody trying to be here. And I'm not a huge wedding fan, but I just think that is so rude. And you see it. I can't remember the last time I went to a wedding that a baby wasn't screaming.
Here's the thing. If you have to bring a baby for whatever the reasons are that the baby or the toddler has to come, at least have the common decency once the kid starts shrieking, and inevitably it will.
Right.
Because it's a baby or a toddler and they're assholes, as we established on the very first episode of this podcast. Pick the child up and take it out of earshot from the majority of the people. I've been in so many situations recently where somebody is speaking and you cannot hear the speaker because a person has a toddler and the toddler's drowning everything out, and it never occurs to the person to think, hey, will you let me know what they say while I'm gone? I'm going to take my baby outside so it doesn't annoy everyone.
Right.
Sitting there with a screaming toddler is such a next level entitlement that I can't relate to. When our kids were little, the minute they started acting out, one of us would swoop them up and we were immediately outside. I don't get that.
I don't get it either. I remember very distinctly one time, Emily's thing was she would throw up if she was mad and didn't get her way. I know you vividly remember it. And I remember one day we're sitting there and she starts throwing up and you scooped her out. You got her out faster than I could. I rounded up everybody else because you were right next to her and you're like, we're going to be outside.
You have to.
You have to.
You just, it's just an unspoken rule that toddlers are such a temporary thing and they can be so cute and so
Adorable.
Fun. And you fall in love with them, I think, so that it can help you get through the teenage years. But they're not cute to others. But the majority of the time, when a toddler is amongst the public, they are a ticking time bomb of a grievance that is about to be unleashed, and they rain hellfire on the general public. So as the parent, it is your duty to scoop them up and remove them.
Agree. And I'm just going to go on record. I don't blame the toddler in these situations. I blame the parents.
I will say the last 2 weddings I've been to, on the invitation, it says no kids allowed. So I think that's a growing trend.
And I think it should be.
Agreed.
And I think it's a lack of common courtesy that they have to say it, but good for them for saying it. Now, do people abide by it?
In my experience so far.
Okay, good.
Pumps, our ability to suck and then wake up the next day and suck more than the previous day is undefeated.
It's unparalleled. We are the champions.
If you would like to see how bad we suck, please join us in New York City in November for, just some world-class shit talking.
That's right.
Live
and in person.
That's right. Pumps, the holiday season is just right around the corner. And if you're looking for easy gifting options, OSEA's limited edition Super Glow body set is the perfect gift.
I love my Super Glow body set because it feels so great on my skin, but I also love the hyaluronic body serum. My skin feels fantastic.
Listener, OSEA's Super Glow body set is a surefire hit for everyone on your list, even the hardest to please. It includes 3 of OSEA's best-selling body care products at an incredible value, packed in a box so beautiful you can skip the wrapping paper. This is gifting made easy. But hurry before this limited edition set sells out. Give the gift of glow this holiday season with clean, clinically tested skincare from OSEA. And right now, we have a special discount just for our listeners. Get 10% off your first order site-wide with code HADIT at OSEAMalibu.com. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Pumps, the holiday season is all about gratitude, and sometimes I have a hard time centering myself and realizing I have a lot to be grateful for. And when I experience this, lack of reaching gratitude. I schedule a session with my therapist from BetterHelp. It really puts things into perspective, and I'm able to relish in the gratitude of the simple, everyday gifts that I have around me.
I feel like my BetterHelp therapist helps me from my mood swings. I feel like I go back and forth and back and forth. And when I feel that way, I know it's time for a therapy session with BetterHelp therapist. And I will tell you, what makes me like it the most is that I can do it in my own home on my own schedule.
Listener, if you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. All you have to do is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Let the gratitude flow with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/hadit today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/hadit.
Okay, this is a Patreon cult member named Summer.
Okay.
I wanted to send in a hit it. You know what I hit? I hit the fact that y'all talk about religion in terms that no one else uses in the South. And I so appreciate it. In fact, that's what helped me years ago realize I was actually a liberal, because I really didn't realize that I was for a lot of years. And part of that was due to watching Religulous, which I know Bill Maher, has some issues for sure. And anyone else that talks as openly or as frankly about religion as Jen and Pups and you guys. And I love it. I appreciate it. It gives me life. Living in Arkansas in the Bible Belt is pure torture. And I will tell you one thing I've had it with, though. That's my hit it. My had it is when people describe someone, oh, but he's a good Christian, or she's just a good Christian woman. I'm like, what? That's a huge red flag for me. That means they're probably a terrible, shitty ass person is what that means. So, don't ever tell me someone's a good Christian, or I'm going to know immediately that they are a sucky human.
It's true. Everything she says is spot on. I know when I'm dealing with a business, if it has that Christian fish on it, I know immediately not to do business with them. If somebody has to be that broad and that robust with their religiosity, they're masking something. And living in the Bible Belt will make you less religious because there is a veneer. And it is, oh, hi, how are you? Religious people only love the people that are in their little cult. There's no love for collectivism. And I shouldn't say that's just not all religious people, because I do have some friends that are like Christian light, like maybe Episcopalian or whatever. But evangelicals in particular are some of the cruelest people I've ever met in my life. I mean, right underneath that veneer, there is just racism, homophobia, judgment, cruelty, picking on people's physical appearance is just mean shit that always takes my breath away.
I am Summer. I had the exact same experience. I thought I was a Republican for all these years until I lived and grew and did all that. So I get it. Summer, I get you.
Okay, up next, we've got Rihanna.
My thing that I've had it with is people that don't have any spatial awareness, right? So you've been to London and it is busy as hell. There is loads of people not giving a shit. They just go about their business. And so this afternoon, right, I decided that I was going to wear flip-flops. Now, that is just a disaster in itself when you're in London, right? But anyway, minding my own business, wearing flip-flops, going down the escalator to get on the tube. And instead of this guy going around me, he decided that he was going to come right up behind me, yeah? So anyway, I'm just about to get off the escalator. The guy stands on the back of me flip-flop. I go flying, hopping about. I'm left with the tongue bit in between my toes, and the sole of my flip-flop is still on the escalator. I've had to stand there like a right twat and wait for my flip-flop to come off of the escalator. Honestly, I've had it.
Okay, I have to say I would have had it too, because the one thing that I admire a lot, like if somebody were to say, Jennifer, list your top 5 things that you admire about civilization, I would say top 3 even, is the escalator etiquette in London.
Yeah.
The escalator etiquette in London should be admired by the entire world. Everybody stands on one side. You can pass. Everybody follows the rules. It's tidy. So this is a huge, even more of an egregious violation,
Right.
considering they are nothing but exemplary in escalator etiquette. That this guy crowded in and stepped on the back of her flip-flop is a huge stain to the United Kingdom, in my opinion.
$20 says he was probably American. No, the efficiency of London is fabulous. As a flip-flop wearer, I can't even imagine that. But I'm going to tell you what got me with that. A right twat.
Twat. Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's nothing better than a British accent. And I'm kind of in my Stevie Nicks phase. So the fact that her name's Rihanna, I mean, I'm all in. All in.
Okay, the last one is from Jill.
I've had it with these people that are in states where it is still legal, protesting at abortion clinics and trying to manipulate women, and convince them not to have an abortion and not have a choice. So I think that we are missing the boat as women and protests. And where we should really be protesting, I want to start protesting at weddings. I'm going to get my sign and go to a wedding for some young woman in her 20s and being like, hell no, don't go get married because marrying a man is a pain in the ass. And they're not going to know where anything is the rest of your life. And you're going to have to think for them and do for them. Hell no, don't get married. So wedding protests need to be the new trend.
I like her idea, but I think I
great.
have one that could top it. I think we stand outside of pharmacies and protest Viagra.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
I think we just start playing the long game with this. Skirting the system for an erection is defying God's will. God intended for you to not have an erection for this long, and we make signs and we play the long game like the religious right has.
Yes.
And we take down geriatric erections at every turn that we can. And young people that are trying to do it more in one setting than they probably should.
Right.
God only intended for your dick to be this hard for this amount of time.
Not 4 hours.
On this day only. If you're juicing, you are defying God's will. And so, we stop juicing erections. And I think we do a very decades long game with this. And we start with pharmacies. And then also, I think we could just follow around FedEx trucks and UPS trucks. You just have to drive them with it. You know that they're going to some old guy's house. You just hop out with your sign. Jerry can't get an erection, so he just ordered Viagra.
We could put yard signs in.
Yeah.
We can follow if they get like a 4 hymns delivery.
Yeah.
We can put a sign that says, Jerry has a limp dick.
Right.
Jennifer, I mean, I've thought you've had many brilliant ideas. You know that. In 25 almost years of being friends, this might be the best one.
All right, here's the deal, listener. We have to reorganize and regroup based on what happened on Tuesday, November 5th. We've established we have a new mascot, and it is the blue-winged hawk that says, CACAW. Yes, but we also have a platform.
We have a new platform.
And what we think an issue that America can just address, that we can all address together, is juicing for unnatural erections.
Right.
We can make a platform. We can have like bylaws. You can be the attorney for the organization.
You can be the president. Kylie, what?
She'll run the social media.
Yeah, but I mean, I think a lesbian should be in a position of power in this committee. Don't you?
Yes, but I think that's just a foregone conclusion. I think that diminishes our cause because
so we'll
that
put
just
Steph on there.
Yeah.
We'll put Seth on there.
Yeah, no offense, Kylie, but I mean, you don't bring any credibility to it. I don't. Because what they're going to say is, of course, that Leslie doesn't want a hard dick. That's why she's a Leslie.
Yeah.
You know, would get that kind of pushback. What we need to do is we need to recruit men.
Right.
Specifically gay men, because I think they might juice quite a bit.
I was going to say there has to be a gay exception.
I agree, but I think...
To start.
But the situation with gay men is... You find with marginalized people that they fight for marginalized causes most.
That's right.
And so Black women always vote for everybody because they get impacted the most. All of our gay listeners, the LGBTQIA plus listeners, they voted for women and they voted for themselves because all of these things are interconnected. I guarantee you that every Gaytriot listener, they might not like it, but they would say, I'm sorry, I can't juice anymore, Dave, because I'm a part of this cult and we have this blue wing talk and it's trying to find its voice. And this is our opposition. This is our resistance to this anti-woman movement. So it's just not going to be erections left and right anymore. It's just, we're going to have to do it God's way. And then Dave might say, I thought God was against gay sex. And then the other person can say, I thought God was for lifting up marginalized people. And then, they can just devolve into this whole thing. But here we are. We're fucked. But we do have a bird. We have a new bird.
CACAW.
Yeah. The blue wing talk. Is that what it is?
You've changed it a few times.
What was it originally?
Blue tail talk? Is that right?
Blue tail.
Now you're saying blue winged, though.
Blue wing talk. Blue tail. I don't know. We'll work on it.
We'll workshop it.
We'll work on it. Next episode, we'll scramble the jets because listen up. This might sound stupid, but we all need this bird. We need something to cling on to that has wings that we can just close our eyes and envision. I don't know if this is a real bird or not, but I know that it's trying to find its voice and I'm going to just ride this fucking bird to get me through the hellscape that is upon us.
Yeah. I'm going to work on my CACAW. I'm going to practice. Maybe if I can do like low to high, high to low. I'm going to throw something sassy out there.
Okay. All right. Well, listener, make sure you are joining us on Patreon. And we still have a live show next week in New York City where we can all gather together. And it's called the People Suck Tour. And I don't think that has ever been more appropriate than today. Oh, Pumps, tell them.
We will see you next Tuesday and Thursday.
I'll tell you what I've had it with. Let's hear it. I've had it with that. Listen up, Patriots, Gaytriots, and Theytriots. We have a new podcast that has dropped. It's called iHip News. It's Monday through Friday, every day, 15 to 20-minute hot takes on the political landscape of the United States of America, always served with a side of petty grievances.
We are on all the available platforms, Apple, Spotify, Google, whatever you get your podcast, and YouTube.
Please go rate, subscribe, and review so that we will chart upwards with America's greatest legal mind. Pumps, what does an eagle say?
CACAW.
A little bit more enthusiasm.
CACAW.
That's it. That's
CACAW.
That's the patriotism that this country needs right there.